This Might Be Risky sponsorship package is here. Have your ad run on our live streaming episodes, linked in the video description and attached to our many hot take clips. The channel is fast growing with thousands of views and subscribers. Don't miss your chance to grow your business on one of the fastest growing platforms on YouTube. Join the family today. This might be risky. Email us at thismightberisky@gmail.com if interested. Hashtag Indeed, hashtag do the right thing.
Yo, what's good? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Now we can.
How's everybody doing?
Great.
Great?
Fabulous.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Dang, man, there's a bunch of decent looking faces on here, man. I like it. Can y'all hear me? Let's do Mike's check real quick. Twana, let me say something.
Yes.
Good. Mary, say something. Good. Candy.
Hey.
TPP. A pleasure. Kind of low. Say it one more time.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think it's good. Using a mic by chance? Okay. I think it's all right. Love, what up though?
What up?
Good.
Yep, always.
Isha,
What's up?
you all right?
I'm good.
Candy, what's going on?
Oh, all things are great. How about you?
I cannot come. Damn, the first out of everybody, you the first person to ask me how I'm doing back, man. I appreciate it. It says a lot about these other.
You already get
Says
started.
a lot about these other Negroes up here. Look at the cup. Don't put that cup up there. You ain't saying
love. Yes, love you. Yes, love.
There you
Tell
go.
her return it back in.
Okay. All right. Cool. So, is everybody familiar with the topic at hand this evening?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
How y'all feel about it?
We'll see.
It's an interesting topic. It's interesting.
Rotunda, you have one job, Rotunda. Stay in the background.
You kicked me out. Let it out.
I kicked you out?
Yes.
Here you go. All right, well, I'm glad you're back. Everybody say hi to Rotunda.
Hey, everyone. Hey, Rotunda. Hey.
So, I'm going to give y'all an option. Want me to pose a question or should I pop it off with a perspective video?
I like the videos.
Yeah,
to give us perspective.
Video? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was trying to be fair with this video.
Uh-oh.
That means it's not fair.
I'm about to say that means it's not fair.
That means not exactly.
Well, it may not be fair, but not for the reasons you guys may assume.
Okay.
So let me drop it real quick. Get you guys' take on this. One second. You see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
It seems like women are always the ones that always settle, right? Men, you see the most dusty, raggedy somebody's son that is a straight up week 5, right? Hairline all the way back here, unemployed, bad attitude, bad body, black toenails, attitude.
Oh my God, girl.
Like,
what girl?
Damn. Better days, better. I mean, I ain't talking. I want no one specific. Better days are behind them. And they be trying to holler at me, right? Talk about my friends, right? You got a friend for me and she better be a dime. She better be able to cook and this and this and that. And the list is so long. And then I meet my amazing friend that check all the boxes, say, I want a good guy that treats me nice.
All righty, now tonight's topic will focus on the importance of never settling as a Black woman. All right, now we got to keep it real. But sometimes settling is calming and relaxing to the spirit, but not settling involves work. It involves tenacity. It involves inner work and so much more. According to bossmag.com, the key points of not settling requires accountability, setting standards, and fueling your mind and body. Now, ladies, why is it important not to settle as a Black woman? I know this is easy, but Claudia, since nobody never gets to go to you first, tell me why it is so important for Black women to not settle.
Because we have it the hardest out of everybody. We have double minority status and usually do twice the work, half the pay, half the respect. So damn it, we deserve to not have to settle. And I know it seems like it's like easier sometimes, like, well, you know, statistics always tell us only 35% of women, Black women, will get married, and mostly going to be single. And after a certain age, it's a wrap. So we kind of sit there and say, well, I'll share, or I'll compromise on this, or maybe he's not all I want, but he's better than nothing, or a piece of a man is better than no man. Hell to the nah. Absolutely the F not. And sometimes it's hard when someone's like pretty good, but there's some things that really don't sit well with your spirit. And we try to sometimes force a square peg into a round hole, and you find yourself frustrated because you're like, oh, because you're settling. And when you feel that feeling where it's like, damn it, something is still not sitting right.
Nah, that's the real.
So, see, now say sorry because y'all thought I was gonna play something else.
Somebody. We know it's coming, so
appreciate you. I appreciate it.
I'm apologizing already.
So, do you guys know those panelists?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How old are they?
In their 40s.
40s, right?
40?
All of them.
50s. They got in their 50s.
All of them are in their 50s.
Like late 40s, 50s, early 50s.
Claudia is only 49.
She just turned 50 though this year.
Vivica's up there.
You know, Vivica's in her 60s, right?
She up there.
Yeah, I forgot. Vivica's in her 60s. Like that.
Are they married?
One.
Selena is.
I think Selena's married.
Mm-hmm.
Is she the one that was the host, kind of?
The second part of the host, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I've seen that from time to time, and I can see you guys while we're watching the video. So there was some head nodding. So Age Love, I saw you nodding your head profusely.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you feel about that video?
Mm-hmm. It definitely resonated with me about not settling.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I wanted to pass the offering plate, because too many times in life we settled because we drank the Kool-Aid saying half a man or a piece of a man is better than no man at all. And because we were most of us were raised on, you get married, have kids, take care of your man and all that. And so not talking about the quality of the man, we were just told to get married. And so we just, as long as he had 2 legs and 2 eyes that worked and arms and he brought the paycheck home, okay, he's a man. So we settled in that regard. So as I've gotten older and lived life, I've realized even settling makes you, I think one of them said it, settling makes you work even more, because you have to make sure you're still okay, make sure he's okay, and probably more than likely overcompensate for his insecurities or overcompensate for his inadequacies, make him feel okay. And then you got to make sure the kids are okay, and or your self-esteem or your soul is prospering. So it's a lot of work. So settling ain't the move to make.
Okay. Tawana, you chimed in while she was talking. What did you say? I just couldn't hear exactly what you said.
I said, and don't forget the working PP. That's what I said.
Oh, like his penis don't work?
Yeah, I want to make sure that works.
Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
you have to make sure it works.
Yes.
So, okay. So what does settling look like, Candy?
Oh, that is loaded. It's interesting that you asked what does settling look like, because I'm a roots person. I mean, I'm going to go all the way back to why am I settling? Right? And what I mean about that is because once you realize you're settling, sometimes you ask yourself, like, how the fuck I even get here? So settling looks different, I think, for different women. Settling is, you know what, he may treat me nice, but the ping don't work. Settling look like he helps me with the kids, but he don't make enough money to, you know, help with the bills. So, you know, settling in regards to that, it looks different for different women. But I'm often asking myself, or in general, like, okay, what has caused me to settle? Is it because, you know, like childhood trauma type stuff? Am I settling because I don't have enough self-esteem for myself? You know what I mean? So I'm always like going to the root of the problem. How did I get to where I'm settling? But to answer your question, it looks different for different women.
Isha, is the term settling being thrown around when we don't have an answer?
I don't think so. Settling is when you make exceptions for something that you ordinarily wouldn't make exceptions for.
Is it different from compromise?
No.
No? Why not? Why not?
Like if the man doesn't have a job, that's a no-go for me. But if he has a job that just doesn't make enough money, then that's compromise. Settling is me saying, okay, he doesn't have a job, I'll take him anyway.
So okay, that's impactful. Okay, so I hear this term a lot. So this question I just want to set the tone, set the pace, get some understanding about how we see ourselves, because I think we'll be able to provide more clarity to people watching. So Mary, what percentile you think you fall in?
Realistically,
That's you only ever been real.
I feel like I'm in like the 30-40 percentile for
30 or 40
for modern day. I could even say less for modern day women.
So the scale will work where the lower the better.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So you say 30-40%?
Right.
Yeah. What makes you say that?
The women that I've talked to that are married don't do half the stuff that I do when it comes to my husband. And a lot of that is just who I am as a person and not necessarily just being married. So who I am as a person is a lot different than women my age. I'm 32. So it's a lot different than women, you know, my age. Like, I'm going to cook, I'm going to clean, I'm going to make sure your uniform is clean. I'm going to help you with your business. I'm going to get my hands dirty if I have to. I'm going to, you know, do everything that I need to, you know.
You're
but
talking about for your husband?
Right. For my husband, for my household.
So are you defined as being a wife? Like, is that how you define yourself?
Yeah, I think I'm a wife. I think I'm a damn good wife, actually.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. TPP, what percentile do you fall in?
Okay, so can y'all hear me okay? I'm a little different. So I'm single. I've been single for a while, and I'm open to marriage, but I'm not there in life. But I enjoy being single. I love being single. I love my freedom and living my life the way I want, and not necessarily. And I mean, I love, you know, I'm surrounded by mothers and wives, and you know, my friends are all, you know, they have those roles. But I want to define myself by more than a role or those roles in life as a woman. So I just feel like I have, things to do. But that's just where I am. Yeah, I can't really say in terms of settling. I know that I haven't, like I don't. So I'm actually glad you're shedding light on this because I haven't. So when people pose the question, oh, well, why are you still single? At your age and this, that, and the other, and you don't have any kids. I don't, but that is all by choice. Right? Like that's just the path I set out on.
So I just get a little nervous when people say it's all by choice.
Don't do
I
that.
believe
No,
you.
I decided I went to school. I wanted to go to school. I wanted to get my education and be on a certain career track. Like I had a plan,
Yeah.
and it just, a man wasn't in that. Like it wasn't about that. It was books over boys. That's what I was taught. I went for education. I moved to Maryland for school and work. Like I wasn't, if I happened to fall in love, that was great by, with whoever. Right. But I wasn't, that wasn't what I was looking for.
So what percentile do you fall in, you think?
I don't know. I'm gonna defer to y'all on that. Cause I don't even know. I was like, divorce, why am I even on here? I can't speak to that. But yeah, I don't. I'm gonna just say I don't.
Okay. I'll accept it on Tuesday.
Wait, I'm sorry. So TPP, you don't fall in percent. What? I'm sorry. You don't fall in percentile. Like as far as grading yourself, you're saying you don't grade yourself.
I don't know, because I'm open to it all. So I'm just, it's just I don't think it's happened for me in life that way. But I just,
The quality of your work, you think you're top 10%?
The numbers say that, but yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I would say that. Yeah. It depends on how you're looking at it, because I got 2 jobs. So you know what I mean.
Like but top 5% with your 2 jobs.
But yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Sorry, what'd you say?
Oh no, I was making sure I answered your question, or did you have another one for me?
Yeah, you didn't really answer, but it's Tuesday.
It's cool. She answered it when I asked her directly. So yeah, she answered it.
No, that was about work.
No, she said she judges herself. She's top 10%. If she was to judge or
you said work. You said work, Asia.
Because I don't necessarily think it would be fair.
Not work only. Work only. I said worth. No, I said worth.
Oh, she thought you said work. That's what she says. Yeah, 2 jobs.
I said worth. Your worth. If you were to judge your worth.
I did think you said work. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, worth.
Yeah.
And I said you would do top 10%, right?
Okay. Ro, where you at?
I think I'm in the middle.
What's that?
50?
50. 50, top 50%.
Yeah, so I'm divorced, and when I was 32, I was like Mary, so I would have been at a 30-40% because I was the stay-at-home mom. I was the clean up, cook dinner, pick up the kids, take them to daycare if I needed a break and all that. But then, for some reason, well, I can't say for some reason, I just think that my evolution took me into like a place of not feeling worthy just independently on my own. Even though my husband and my children, my household was benefiting. So I think today I'm at 50%.
Okay. Anybody think they above 20 or 30%?
I believe I'm above 30%. Absolutely.
Think you top 20%?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
Tawana?
Yes, absolutely.
Anybody else?
Oh, absolutely.
What qualifies us to get in the top 20% of women?
Me.
I know. What about you?
I appreciate Mary because I've, like Rose said, I've been there, like doing it all. And doing it all to a point where you lose yourself, which is a no-go. 2 years ago, I probably still would have been married, and I'm happy for her. However, I understand that what's most important is for me first. Like there's a pecking order. Me first, obviously, mentally, physically, emotionally, and then everyone gets what's left over. So when you say, do I consider myself to be in the top 10, I'll say 5 to 10%. What's important for me is to provide me with what I'm asking someone else to provide. Okay. So I can provide for me what I'm expecting from whoever I choose to be in my life as a future 4C. So yes, I say I'm 5 to 10%. Absolutely.
You know, they say everything you say before the but is bullshit.
Who is they? Who is they?
You know, the days that come up with cliches and all of that. Because you said no, just digging a little deeper.
Okay.
You said you're happy for Mary. However, it's a prettier word than but.
The however is because I'm not judging her journey. Like everybody has their own path to walk. And I just happen to be, you know, a little bit older. And when I say a little bit older, I'm 48. So been there, experienced some things. I'm not interested in fulfilling all those roles anymore. However, I've been there, right? Okay. And that's why I said I'm you know, happy for that. I can just speak for my journey, my current journey. I'm asking that now, right?
Gotcha.
I feel like the big misunderstanding when I say that people miss is that it's my character. Nothing that I'm doing is because of a man or has been because of a man. Any man that I have been with, I've done the same thing. So I didn't stop. My husband could divorce me tomorrow. It's not going to make me change how I care for someone or cater to anyone in general. I raised my siblings. I grew up as a mom. So what I'm doing is never to impress a man. It's never to benefit from a man. And it's never because of a man. And I feel like that's the biggest misunderstanding that people have. When I say I cook, I do clean, I still go to work. I still have a full-time job. I'm still a full-time student. I'm not a stay-at-home mom. I am a mom, but I'm not a stay-at-home mom. I'm very involved in general. And I think that's the biggest misunderstanding people have about the role in general, just assuming that it's always because you want to get here or be here with a man. Me mentioning those things that I do has never been because of a man.
So I don't want you to take it as a negative, because I didn't take it as a negative, because again, we have similarities. I was the oldest of 4 children with a single father. So it is something that is natural to take care of a household. If you had to not have a childhood and take care of your siblings, that is a natural thing that occurs. When I said I was at 50%, it was because when I was operating at that high level, I missed, just like I missed my childhood, missed myself as a person. So I'm not saying that it's a negative that you do it and it comes natural. I heard you. It comes very naturally to people that take care of their siblings, that take care or have to responsibilities as a child, and they grow into an adult. 9 times out of 10, they are going to be natural caregivers because that is what they've been accustomed to doing. So I don't want you to take it as a negative, because that's not what I was saying. I was not. I was saying that when I was operating at that high intensity level, it is an intense level to take care of a household. You do forget, particularly my 2 children are 18 months apart. So I had a toddler and a newborn at the time. And I was operating at a high level that was unsustainable. That's what I was trying to say. And now that I'm at 50%,
I agree with. It's just not sustainable.
So my question is though,
between women though, because it's not, again, you're going to do what you want to do. You get what I'm saying? You're going to operate how you want to operate. Because someone operates at that high frequency doesn't mean that they're missing out on self. A lot of that has been a part of self. Like, again, I'm still a full-time student. The most thing that has changed me has been having children.
Right. So as I said before, there's a natural sense of operating at a high level. You know how they talk about if a mother sees her child hurt and she just jumps into action, we are operating at this level. When I said I was operating at 30-40%, my adrenaline, my level of high anxiety, because that's what it was, of being aware of what my husband needed, his clothes washed, his stuff ironed, lunch, blah blah blah. I was operating at a higher level. I say I'm at 50% now because I'm divorced. However, I still have 2 children that are still 18 months apart and they're teenagers. So I'm now operating on a different level where they're not so reliant on me, but because they're going through their processes of hormones and things like that, I still can't be in a space where I feel comfortable saying that I'm operating at a 10% or a 5%, because I'm not. And that's all I was saying. Because I am a giver. I'm a natural nurturer. So that's why I said that. It was not to say.
So can I jump in real quick? So I think maybe I'm misunderstanding the question. I thought Hamp was saying what percentile do you fall in as far as rating your worth or rating yourself, like your value, I guess.
That's what he said. We just went into
okay.
But that's what he said. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess my one of my questions I have, maybe Tawana can answer, is if Ro and Candy are slightly saying the same thing in terms of operating for your family, they lost themselves. How is it not negative?
Well, it's not negative. I'm a mother of 2. My children are grown. I was married for 18 years. I married my first boyfriend. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it took a lot for me to, first of all, when you're young, you have no idea who you are, right? And you're still trying to learn who you are. So now you've included someone in your life, and now you guys have basically grown up together, right? So I grew up with my husband, my ex-husband now, because we're divorced, which is crazy to me, but it's real. And it happens, right? So neither one of you are wrong. You saying what your heart feels and what you've been through and what you've experienced in your life. We all talk about our own experiences and how they influence us in our lives, in our lifetimes, where we are now. I'm 56 and I'm grateful. I'm not with anyone, but they knocking my door down constantly. But it's my choice for me to be where I am. I've come from New York to Virginia, from Virginia to Texas, and I'm grateful for my movements. So the growth that I had to find within myself made me better. I never knew who I was as a young woman because I always gave myself to my husband, to my children, and I never really got a chance to find out who I was. So I'm grateful for knowing who I am at this point in my life. And I know that, God's got places for me. He's making a path for me, and I'm walking it. So, I'm grateful to be able to have a panel where I can talk with some mature women that have experiences that they can share and we help each other grow. That's how I feel. I think we help each other grow. And when we lose that sense of communication with each other, it puts us in a space of me. It's all about me. It's all about me. No, it's all about us. Mm-hmm. It's all about us. That's my thought.
That's fair. That's fair. Love.
Can I make a comment real quick?
Hold on. I want to make sure I get Love and Isha. So, Love, you said you're in the top 20, or are you around where Candy's talking about 5 and 10%?
I'll say top 20. And the reason why, I'll say 15, right? Top 20, range between 15 and 20, whatever. And I say that because I've grown a lot. I've evolved a lot. I've learned a lot throughout my life. Mm-hmm. And I shed a lot of toxicity because I used to be toxic. Mm-hmm. And I've shed a lot of that over the years as I've matured emotionally and got my soul right. Mm-hmm. I only say, 15 to 20 because I'm still learning. I'm still growing. Mm. And at times I may be a little bit slower. I'm not as quick as I should be to forgive sometimes. I'm not as quick in being patient either. So I know things I need to work on. So therefore I'm putting myself between 15 and 20. And to some people, that's pretty high. But I know that I know my worth, and I know that the work that I've done increases my value of what I bring to the table, whether it be a friendship or a relationship with a man. I bring a lot. I'm a blessing. Like I know I am.
Gotcha. Ish, where'd you put yourself, Ish?
Oh, wow. I was thinking, I think maybe like 35, 40, only because I'm still learning myself. And I might be a little hard on myself as well. So I'm just in a place of self-reflection.
I think that might be fair. I think most people land at like 50%. That puts you at about average.
Yeah, we always disagree on that. And that's why I laughed at this question. That's why Mary's laughing too, because we just had this yesterday. We disagree on this a lot. And it's okay to disagree. You know, healthy disagreement creates growth in others.
Yeah. So. I mean, just consider this, right? As a man, if you're saying, okay, this woman is this high percentile, what do men value? Right? Would a man put you in the top 5 or 10%? Because there's several red flags that you guys may not consider that a man would, and you would too, in adversely or conversely, right? So for instance, like having a divorce, that could be a cause for pause, right? Having the children, cause for pause. Having a kid out of wedlock, cause for pause. Having too many degrees, cause for pause. If you're just talking about men. Yeah, seriously. Right? Because if you look at the stats, right, the divorce rate for women with all the degrees goes up to 90%, from 70% to 90%. Because it is true what Mary was saying and what Candy and Ro kind of said. I'm sure Tawana did the same thing. I know Aisha, I know Love, right? Just in terms of like being married and whatever the case is, you have to be pretty selfless and you have to be okay with it. And then what happens is we're not okay with it, and then we come to that crossroad.
I agree with you, Hamp. You did a good job. That's a good job. You're right.
Thanks. Just something to consider, you know what I'm saying? So, because like Isha is heavy on herself, but I think she being realistic. Go ahead, Love. You got the final thought?
I want to be careful with the being selfless, because sometimes we can overcorrect and be selfless to where we ignore ourselves. And I forgot who on the panel said that they lost themselves.
I did.
And I've said on previous podcasts that you still can not lose yourself and still love your family, love your husband, and do right by them, and not lose yourself in it, because you don't want to, build up resentment inadvertently because you don't know who you are anymore.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Love, and I just want to elaborate on just something you just said. At what age do you think you find yourself? Since you say you lose yourself, at what age do you think you actually find yourself?
I don't think you ever do. That's what I was going to touch on.
Right.
You mentioned that, and Aisha mentioned that. You guys are still learning yourself. I think nobody ever truly knows themselves, because you go through different seasons of life. You experience different things like you just never thought would ever happen. So until you get into those things, you don't know how you're going to react. You don't know what it's going to do to you. You don't know what kind of trauma it's going to create, or even what kind of joy it's going to bring.
Life is a journey. So let's be very clear. Life is a journey. Okay. And I understand that. But there are things that I know now about myself that I did not know before.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm talking about. So when I sit there and say I learned myself, I learned who I am, I'm still learning. And that's why I said I'm at 15, 20, I'm still learning myself. So I hope I didn't, maybe I obviously came across that. I'm saying I am still learning myself. But at the same time, I have learned valuable lessons. And there's things that I know I would not do anymore now that I have done before. And so therefore, I've learned. So I thank you for having me to clarify that, because it's definitely a journey. You don't stop learning. Nobody should stop learning. That's why divorce happens. Let's be very clear sometimes, because one person has stopped evolving and stopped learning, and the other keeps on going. The misunderstandings happen.
So let me ask this question then. Let me start with Isha. Because I just hearing this selfless and how we do it. It's a forever journey. And if that person stops evolving, then you leave them behind. I don't know. I think it. No, I'm just saying that's what happens, right? If like, remember that. I'm not an evolutionist, but if we just went down that path quickly, right? Neanderthals could not overcome the Homo sapiens. I think was next, right?
Yeah.
Right, because they're not as smart. They weren't as pliable. They couldn't learn, so on and so forth. So that sounds like what that could happen in some of these relationships. So I'm just wondering, and maybe I should have worded this better, but Isha, can women have it all? Because you saw the four treasure the ladies, Vivica in them.
Mm-hmm.
So
what did he call them?
Treasure trove.
I caught myself. The hell is Tawana? See, she got an Android.
Mm-hmm.
Can women have it all, Ish?
What do you mean, like business, career, love, and all of that?
Yeah.
I think that we can. I believe that we can. Yeah. I think women, if it was up to us, we can. I think men kind of get intimidated by a woman who is able to operate in all of that. So they kind of shy away because they don't feel like they can be that alpha male in her life. However, if a man is strong enough mentally, then yeah, women can have it all.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, I just want to make sure everybody heard you. Men's insecurities prevent women from having it all.
Absolutely.
Let me hold on.
Wow.
Okay.
I was laughing at Mary because she looked right at me when she said it. So I was laughing at Mary.
All right, let me get Ro. I'm not even gonna whatever Isha said. Ro, can women have it all?
Yes, but not at the same time.
So then no, right? In essence,
they can have it all. They can have it all throughout their life. They can't have. It's not going to be done at the same time. No.
Yeah. To clarify the question, I guess like simultaneously, because I think that's what would having it all would kind of.
Oh, then no, I don't believe that they can.
So my question is: so you can be married and still continue to learn who you are, have the business, take care of the kids? I totally disagree.
I didn't say you couldn't learn who you are, because we're going to learn who we are every day. But for me to be able to give attention to my man, my kids, my job, and operate at a high performance level like I'm birthed to do, no, I cannot do all that at one time. No.
So Ham, I have a question. Well, I don't know if it's for you or for the panel, but it's all about what a woman values, because some women can have it all from their perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Because if having it all does not include having kids, okay, I told you before, every woman doesn't want to have kids. Not every woman wants to be a mother. It's like every man doesn't want to be a father.
Right. It's your definition of what all is.
It is. And so if having it all means a good career and loving friends,
right,
have it all. So it's all about what you believe having it all, and that may be part of the problem. A lot of women try to fit in this typecast that's been set for us, and that's how resentment comes. And so understanding who you are will necessitate if you can have it all or not.
Yeah,
because I think people want to have it all but don't really want it all. They really don't want the man. Like TPP, she don't want a man right now, but she can have it all because she got her job, she got her friends. I don't have any pets or anything, but you have it all right now and you're content.
She got a cat for sure.
She got
So I have a shit. Her name is Cookie. Okay. Before Empire.
Somebody.
You believe you have it all, TPP?
I do. And I believe women can have it all, y'all. Now, I will say,
stop the cap.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate and say we might drop the ball on some things every now and again. But I believe we can, because we can. But yeah, honestly, I do feel like at some points in life there are some things that we may prioritize a little more than others, and sometimes that may be off kilter. That's my 2 cents.
So you guys think like if you don't get one of these, you'll be fine?
What is that?
A baby. It's a baby.
A baby. Yeah. No, that is not what I'm saying. Okay, because I love kids. So let me start there.
Okay.
I didn't want to have any by a man that was not my husband. So that was intentional. Okay.
That's good.
But I love kids. What? Stop playing with me. I got nieces and nephews out the woo-ha.
So let me ask you this: do you feel incomplete if you don't have kids? TPP.
Right now, no, I don't.
Right.
I'm happy. I'm not gonna say I'm content because I feel like I'm, like you were saying, you should always evolve, you should always grow. But I'm happy. I am happy where I am, and I am learning. I'm still learning myself. So that's good. I don't have to worry about taking care of another human being while I'm still learning myself. And that's a complicated thing. I watched my mother struggle that way, right? So yeah, no, I'm good until
I don't want it all.
Go ahead, Candy. Can a woman have it all?
I don't want it all. I'm tired. I just don't. I knew with that to piggyback off of Ro a little bit, it's just not sustainable. It's exhausting. I thought that's what I needed to do. It's exhausting. No, I do not. And it's exhausting because, like Ro was saying, it's hard to, if you are used to operating at a certain level, when you do something and you know your name is attached to it and you want to do it at a 5-star level, you cannot do everything in your life at that level. For an example, in my case, wife, kids, work, all of those things and perform at a certain level because you then start to play with your own psyche. I'm not good enough at this. I'm not, and then you start beating yourself up unnecessarily. No, I'm not interested in doing it all. Pick one or two things, maximize that, be on the beach somewhere at your feet in the sand. Like, I'm cool. Just innately, off of what Rose was talking about, like, depending on the environment that you come from, you automatically default into people pleasing. You could default into people pleasing, codependency, or you come from parents or mom and it'd be like, don't rely on no man. Like, it's so many different dynamics that can push you into that space, that headspace of thinking that you can do it all.
Well, let me ask. I just want to ask a question to Tawana. Ken, did I allow you to finish your full thought? I felt like
that's fine.
No, all right.
That's fine. You're asking.
Yes, ma'am. Tawana, when a woman gets to like 77 and a half, what do you think's more important on that wall? The plaque or the portrait?
The portrait.
The
family photos. The history of family, love. Yeah. Because at that point, the plaque has already played its role. It's already played its role at that point. It's the family now. My grandmother's 90. God bless her.
Yeah.
And right now it's all about family. She can't wait to have us around her. Get that phone call.
Even like you still grinding, right? We grind together at this point, right?
Yes, we do. But we work at the same job before we mistake what grinding together is. We grind together. We work for the same company.
Like, let me clarify that.
We're so old school.
Man, Candy, thank you.
We can't even listen to R. Kelly no more, but everybody still knows it. But
I made my son off of R. Kelly, so I can listen to him anytime I want. Shit like that. I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. Not at all.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come
So, but so Eric, we successful, right? And going up. But when Tawana talks about her like it's a totally different like energy aura. You know what I'm saying? Like my grandmother is 86. God damn.
Wow.
Yeah, she old as hell. But she call here like she don't, you know what I mean? I don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? Like as long as I'm breathing, she just want to see the kids, right? So I just feel like I don't know, like what does all look like? Or should it be more of a pattern than so subjective?
Well, be careful of labels. You got to be careful of labels because people put labels on what the definition of all is, right?
Well,
and like we said before, we talked about this before. The ladies have all said it on the panel. They've all said it. It's your definition of whatever all is. What's your all?
Not to cut, but just to interject. So my question was, should we think about it maybe being a little bit more structured? Because how far?
Structured for who?
Well, like, should there be some type of goal or some type of like, here's what all looks like, as opposed to having it being so fluid? Because is everybody landing in a happy place? Is my question, and I'm just asking.
I think it depends on their journey. It depends on, wherever God lands them in the moment.
Come on.
Like I said, it just depends. It depends on where you've been and what you've been doing.
So Rose says it depends, so it should be fluid. Tawana, you feel the same?
Well, yeah, I feel like whatever your goal is, your all is your all. My all is my all. Love's all is her all. Aisha's all is her all. Candy's all is her. Rose love, Pleasure Plug, Mary, our all is our definition of all. Mary, you're married?
Yeah.
Okay. Who else is married on this panel?
Divorcing.
Okay. But I was married. Bro, you were married, right?
I was married.
And Love was married. So we all have our definition of what we've been through in life that causes us to change our definition of all. At one point, it might have been husband, family, taking care of home, making sure food is cooked, dishes are done, kids are good, blah, blah, blah. At this point, I live by myself. So right now, yes, I'm concerned about my children and my grandchildren. I'm even concerned about my ex-husband. But my all for me, my complete makes me feel good when I walk into my home and it feels like peace is here. You know what I mean? That's my all is my peace.
Okay, so let me just ask a question. I just want to ask a question. So all is subjective. Everybody's in agreement.
Yes, it is. Yes.
You can hit the precipice at whatever all looks like for you. Everybody says yes.
Yes.
The way to
all right, Asia, go ahead, and I'm gonna Mary, did you want to comment on this? I feel like
no, it's basically what everybody else said. Like it is subjective. Like I could feel like I'm giving.
I thought you said no.
No, I'm saying that I agree. Like it's whatever you feel like.
I thought you said no. You don't want to comment. Now you commented, so you want to comment. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Now let me ask you a clarifying question, Mary, because I know you. Are you gonna say what they said again?
No, I'm actually gonna use something specifically, and I'm not gonna elaborate.
All right, go ahead.
So with me personally, my all, if I have 80% that day and I'm giving 80%, that's my all. That's what I'm giving. That's you getting all of that 80%. That's what you getting. So to me, that's why it's gonna be
shout out to Chef Eddie with the $1.99 super chat. He says gonna be a lot of cat portraits up there.
Wow. Shit like that.
I don't think having it all is subjective, because if it's subjective, then you can't measure what all is.
But your all changes as you grow.
Excuse me?
Your all changes as you grow.
But if he's asking, can women have it all? I'm thinking career, love, family, all together, all. And I still believe that women can have that all, because I've watched my mom do it.
But if that's not a part of something that you want, like for instance, some people don't want kids. So their all is going to be different than that, because their all is not going to include kids.
I don't think there's a lot of people that don't want kids. Though.
I know women that genuinely do not want.
I know quite a few that don't want kids.
Yeah.
Me too. So do I.
You know what I've seen on that note is people get to that valley of dry bones where they haven't had a kid. I said so. Here's the thing. I use the possessive pronoun. Why y'all shaking your head? I said
Because
I seen. Wait, well, I said I seen, so you can't shake your head if I saw it, right?
Right.
So if you disagree, I understand. But if I saw it,
yeah, we disagree. That's what
We
no
so
disagree.
we
and
disagree.
I'm just saying what I saw. And here's the other thing. This is gonna sound very brash. I know more people than y'all. So
Well, that's definitely a no. We don't agree with
I don't agree with that.
and
But
and
whatever.
I'm more popular than y'all. So there's
Oh,
that part
right.
I
too.
don't agree with that either.
So what I was going to say was Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the highest pinnacle of self-actualization, right?
Hmm.
So self-actualization, according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, is the pinnacle of success, I guess, right? And if you subscribe to that, and self-actualization is understanding who you are and your wants and your needs and your desires, and then implementing those things in your life. And so therefore, women can have it all. Now, and whatever it all defines, how you define it. Some women, I believe women
Yeah,
can
no,
have
we
it all too. They can have the career, the husband, the kids. If you have a supportive husband, then why not? If your husband supports your dreams, you can have it all. You can go far in your career. He can stay home with the kids because he chooses to.
So let's so let's move on from this. If we agree that there's kind of just subjectivity to it, it's not that much fun to talk about, right? So given this is the ladies show, the ladies are correct. I'm wrong. So I guess you can have it all. All right. So shout out to the ladies. All right. My next question. What will make you a good wife when this comes? Don't matter about what you've been through matters. What I'm saying is the next go round, if you so choose, right? Because we're very, very fluid on this panel. There's not any hard lines. What will make a good wife?
Well, for me, I want to be married again. Um, my communication has changed. I had stopped communicating. Once I got mad or you did something to me, I turned completely off. I don't communicate. And I try to talk. And if you don't get the point, then deuces. That was me back then. As a grown ass woman, my conversation is different. My conversation is different. My thought pattern is different. My approach is different. My listening skills have become better. I
Is
did a
it
lot more
softer,
talking. I'm sorry.
Is it? Would you consider it softer?
It could be, yes. I could say softer. I think I'm more understanding, and recognizing that it's not a me and what I want and how I want to do it and what I want to see and how I want to see this. It's a compromise, right? And relationships require compromise. They require communication, and people miss that, and that's what broke up my relationship. We stopped communicating with each other, and we started communicating with other people.
Okay. Okay. All right. So Tawana says her communication is like that was one of those determining factors for you. So
Absolutely.
okay,
Because you find out about people when you communicate better, right? You learn who they are, they learn who you are, and then you can fix what's broken if you choose to do so. But when you're not communicating, man,
they can't hear you. What's up, Mary?
So this is another one of those things for me that I feel like is subjective. So
To a man?
Correct. So what might be, because ultimately you don't know if you're a good wife if somebody doesn't tell you. I don't care what anybody says. Call it what you want. You won't know unless somebody validates it. So I feel like it depends on the man that you're with. You might do 10 things across the board for one man and he think you the perfect wife. And then somebody else, that's just something that they don't want. For instance, we talk about knowing people's love language. So you might have somebody that their love language is words of affirmation and somebody else's is physical touch. So if you're trying to give somebody words of affirmation when they just want some head right now, they're not going to feel like you're being a good wife. They're not going to feel like you're doing what they need you to do. So I feel like that's subjective of who you're being the wife to.
So just in terms of men, though, men like affirmatives more than we say we do. Most men cheat because we feel underappreciated. So head can work, but if I'm on a plane going to Texas, right? But the things you say or the text or things of that nature can go a long way too. I
Right.
think
And
we're a little
I
less
understand
complicated.
that. I feel like that's a lot of the basics, but I'm saying in regards to how you may be perceived as a good wife. Like somebody may want you to do something a little bit more than the other person would have wanted you to.
That's fair.
I think what I hear Mary saying, you can be a good wife for the wrong man.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
That's what it sounded like you were saying. You can be the good wife just for the wrong man.
It's a good point.
But like, who determines who we're a good wife? We don't determine if we're a good wife.
Oh, yes, we do. I think it starts with you. You determine yourself.
Well, you're supposed to be a good person, but being a wife pertains to somebody else. Somebody else has to be in the picture for you to be a wife. So it's not just you.
You can be in wife tendencies before you get the husband.
Sure, but it's still. But the title is in regards to somebody else. I'm not going to be single by myself saying, "Oh, I'm a wife." How do I even know if I'm a good wife if I'm not a wife to somebody?
Because a wife is how you act. You can be single and still act like as a wife, and you can be married and still be single.
But I feel like that's still character traits. That's still character.
What does a wife act like?
But for a wife that needs some kind of validation from somewhere else. That there's validation somewhere from somebody else. It's not for yourself.
Oh no! I'm not looking for
confidence, self-esteem, understanding your self-worth. That's all for yourself. But when it comes to the actual title of being a wife, that means that is validated by somebody else. Somebody else is involved.
Right, let somebody get in. Let somebody get in, Mary. Does anybody disagree?
I just want to clarify. I just want to clarify and question. So, if your husband is acting a certain way towards you, or he tells you you're not acting, or what did I used to get? I used to get, I'm not doing my wifely duties. So when a man says those things, you don't think that he is expressing to you that you're not acting as a good wife based off of what he is needing?
Yes, but again, that's based off of somebody else's needs and what they view of you. So you can't just say, I don't think y'all get what I'm saying.
So I can interpret and say, I can look back and say, I wasn't the best wife. Okay, I was a good wife, but I wasn't the best, right, for him. I can look back and say that and be self-reflective. And I can go by what he said, right? So I can do both and say, he said this, and then after the divorce and everything, I can reflect back and say, I wasn't a good wife for him.
So
isn't that what you were?
Well, let me show y'all. Let me show you guys what the men are saying in the chat. Even though these aren't super chats, I'm gonna show them. I think they might help the conversation. And then I want to get TPP in, and then Love in too. So, shout out to Trotter Taz. He says that ass Mary 100. And then Chief says that is absolutely not what Mary was saying. She was holding women accountable regarding making adjustments to how their spouse receives love. What they heard was he's the wrong man.
Nobody said that. I asked the question. The question.
No, he's not saying. Well, he's not just talking to you, bro. He's just saying.
I'm the one that was talking.
No, so there was more because actually Candy said it was the wrong man initially. She said those words straight out, regardless if he misinterpreted. She said those that word, and then he said that's wild. So this could be to you. I don't know, but
so I'm gonna clarify my question again. Are you saying that you, Mary, are not able to identify whether or not you are a good wife based off of either what your spouse says or based off his actions?
Correct. Absolutely.
You are not able to interpret.
I can say I'm a good person. I'm a good person. But being a wife is being something for somebody else, which I cannot determine alone. That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
I understand. TPP, what you think? Can we call you TPP? I mean, that's what it is at this point. So
I know I've been calling her that. I'm sorry.
Call me Tay. It's fine.
I like it though. All right, go ahead.
That's fine. So I got what Mary was saying, that you can't be a husband you can't be a wife without a husband, right? Like that's connected to. So I get what you're saying. And I also get what Candy was saying, like you show up, or you are that person, you show up as a wife, you know, you have what it takes, whatever. But my thing, and I'll piggyback off of Ro also, I'm gonna hit all y'all. So I saw I think I got what you were saying, because you're basically like that the person doesn't define you, and you know, I kind of get how you were differentiating it, but I got everybody's point. But I say that to say, I don't think we're missing it here, because it's more so like a role, right? Like I think what makes you a good person first, right? To be like there's so many things before you're a wife. You're a girlfriend, then you're a fiance, and then you see what I'm saying? Just as a single person, that's how I'm looking at it, right? Because that's where I am. And there's so many things before you get to wife. So that's how I'm looking at it. I'm doing the work to be the good person, so that when that happens, I'm in that role without a doubt. I'm just gonna dive in, right? Like I'm ready for it. So that's my 2 cents.
Go ahead, Asia.
So what will make me a good wife is experience. And I know you said earlier that, you know, having a divorce knocks you down a peg a little bit. And I beg to differ with that. I think, you know, experience and learning your lesson will add value to you the next time you go around. I mean, you can't sit there and get me right 5-6 times, but if you really go in there with experience, being a good teacher, and like for me, I've learned to be more patient. Tawana said she learned to be a better communicator. I will be a better wife, or I'll be a good wife, because I won't go in with naivete. I went into my first marriage being very naive about what marriage was. And no matter how much I tried to please, it made it worse, because I just didn't come in with the right mindset. So what will make me a good wife this go round, I do want to get married again. I believe I do today, at least, is that experience has been a great teacher. I've done the soul work. I've healed from past trauma. And I've done the soul work. I will ensure that I understand him totally, and without losing myself, I will be all of me. So there's no surprises at the end after the marriage. Like, I gotcha. Nope. I've let you know all of who I was, and you chose to love all of who I was. And I want to make sure I know all of who you are. And in every facet, I think one of the men said on one of the panels, go through a man with all the seasons. So you see how he reacts. And that was great advice. That was one bit of good advice that the men did give on this podcast, out the thousands. But I would come in with experience and wisdom. I didn't come in with wisdom. I was so naive, and I wasn't even that young when I got married, but I was still naive. So I know, even though I'm not a wife right now, I know I'm coming with the skill set to be that good wife to him.
Go ahead, Ish.
For me, I would say to let go of your independence, because I was big independent when I was married, and my husband knew it, and he knew it to the fact that I think I broke him down a little bit, if I can be honest. And I let him know, listen, I don't need you. I can do this by myself. And like you said, experience is the best teacher. And experience paying these bills by myself has taught me that I need my next husband, and I'm not independent no more.
Anybody else want to get in? That Isha, that's real. That's real. But I guess my question is, where does he have to be though? So how much does the bag matter? Let me ask you a couple questions. Does he have to be over 6 feet over?
I'll take 5'10".
Okay. So 5'10" at the shortest.
Yeah, I'm 5'7", so I need, I don't want him looking at me eye to eye,
You just gotta be taller than me. That's it. I don't care if it's a half an inch. Just be taller than me.
And I guess the key factor that I can consider before I wanted to ask you these questions, but you're saying you just don't want to pay the bills by yourself, but you're still willing to pay some bills?
Absolutely. I contribute. I'm just not independent. I'm not independent. If he wants to go wash my car, go ahead, wash my car, babe.
Please, yeah.
If you want to go put gas in it, go ahead, babe. Go put gas in there.
Is that the only reason why you want a husband?
No, I want companionship, and I learned to. I lost my mom like 2 years ago, right?
Sorry to hear that. Sorry.
And
My condolences.
process and by myself, it was like, man, I wish I had somebody that I could lean on and that can cover me in that process. Instead, I was my independent, strong self for myself, and I didn't like that either.
Okay. What if I told?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ham.
Well, no, I just want to kind of keep it going. Let me read the super chat real quick. Hold on. So shout out to Chef Eddie with a $5 super chat. You cannot be the barometer of how you are viewed by someone else. That's like receiving amazing training at a job and you're still trash.
Wow.
That's what I've been trying to say.
First of all,
That's all I've been trying to say.
Any good trainer, any good leader should be able to tell you what you're good at and what you're not good at and what you need to work on, and you should be able to receive that.
Yeah.
I think a part of it too is that the onus, I'll say a lot of the onus is on us when we're choosing our mates, for the ones that are single, right, or divorced, whatever, because understanding what you truly value, each knows. Number one and two is money and not looks. Dingling. What is it?
What was looks?
No,
all right.
looks
Number one.
like,
but the point is, like, I value communication in a man, right? He can be 5'8", 5'9", but and he has to be a good manager of money. He can't be making 40,000, but if he makes a livable wage and is a good manager of money, I don't need him to make $1 million. Respect is important to me and communication. So there's just things that are important to me, and I need to make sure this next go round, I am very sure and confident and state what is important to me. And if you can't give those things, then, and not potential, no. Now, do you exhibit those things now, not the potential of who you are? That's very important. And that's why I also put the onus on me to know that I would be a good wife to this type of right man, because he would honor and respect what I bring to the table. Because a lot of men would not even respect what I would bring to the table. Even if I do appreciate him, he may be intimidated by my wealth or my prestige or my status. So I can, and again, I tried my hardest to fix it the first time, thinking I was doing everything that man would want, having the sex, being home, cooking the food. That wasn't good enough because he was intimidated by who I was as a person, what I was doing in the community. So I have to have the right man for me that measures up to me.
I just want to get, and you guys can believe me or not, most men don't be intimidated. It's just it's too noisy what comes with all that. There's some traits you have to develop to get to a level, especially money-wise in corporate world, that don't often coincide with what a man wants. And it comes through subconsciously, whether you know it or not.
So
what if I told you men, go ahead, Rose, sorry, go ahead.
Question. So I was reading the stats, and it does say that one of the reasons Black marriages the divorce rate is so high is because one of the reasons was that Black men do not make enough money. And so it's not that they may be intimidated, but they internally have some sort of issue within themselves because their wife makes more money than them.
What is the average income for Black women?
The average income for Black women is, I believe, it's the same as the medium as the United States, 50 to 60,000.
No,
ma'am.
So Black men still make more than Black women on average, and it's I think it's by like $4,000. So it's not a huge gap, but average, the men make more than the women. So where would that? How will we find credence in that stat?
Yeah, that's true. Women are more educated, but men make more.
I'm saying within our race, we make more money than them. No, I don't.
Sadly, we don't. Sorry.
Yeah, I think because the education that our women pursue, which is awesome. I don't know how much money it comes with. Like literally, if you major in education, communications, psychology, things of that nature, the bags may not look the same as like engineering.
Okay.
Right. And many women don't do engineering, right? Also, they average the numbers because women have part-time jobs for several reasons, right? Having a kid, so on and so forth, right? There's also another stat where they say women don't ask for raises or don't fight for their money, so that can cause a gap too, right? It may not even be like inequality; it's just like we have to do different things to get different results.
Okay, but it's Women's History Month, and it ain't our fault.
Say it again.
It's Women's History Month, and it ain't our fault. We should be making more. Okay, thank you. I just had to say that.
I have a question I want to ask. Candy, I want to start with you. This is a question that just popped in my head. And I got another dope question. But what if I told you men, and this is a question I actually have for the panel on Wednesday, but I want to ask it here because I like it. Only one part of it though. What if I told you this nigga keep crying and shit? Don't have no kids, man.
God damn! What in the world?
Did you call him a nigga?
Big Tug, man.
Infant?
Big Tug. Yeah, man.
Oh my gosh, he's so cute.
I told him.
He wants to see the ladies.
I told him boys don't cry, so he better stop that shit.
Don't teach him that.
So, toxic, baby.
Yes.
Nah. So, what if I told you men judge and date women based on their past, and women judge and date men based on their future?
Absolutely, I agree with that.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
But what if I don't tell you my past?
Then we don't know. But then we're gonna bump into your friend, and she gonna be like, "Oh, remember that time when we did such and such?"
My friends don't talk.
Like their friends
To let you know that my friends don't talk. So,
Get you
but if I don't tell you my past, you can't base my right now on what you don't know.
Yeah, you're right. You know what happens, Tawana? What if I told? Oh, sorry, I just wanted to. Just on that point, Instagram will tell on you, TikTok, so on and so forth. So people do so much on the internet. Like if hear this point, yeah, I can rebuttal. If you get on a private jet that's not yours, and another man took you on there, don't post that picture. Because the man that you finally get with and marry, if he see you on a private jet with another man, it's gonna leave a very poor taste in his mouth. What do you think about that?
Most people don't think you selling pussy.
Huh?
A lot of people lie too.
People don't think you selling pussy.
That's the thought, Mary. That's literally what they think.
I know.
Yeah. People lie on the internet. I remember when I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm saying we understand as women, we understand the fragility of the male ego. And so a wise woman does not tell her man everything because we know that they can't handle it. And so a wise woman will pepper what she says. And how I am, and y'all all know that follow me, I don't put a lot of stuff on social media. I'm old school. I don't do that. For a myriad of reasons. I had a stalker one time too. But beyond that, you're not going to sit there and see my wild stuff. If you didn't take pictures or record it, you weren't there. It didn't happen. And so I don't sit there and lay it low and spread it wide either. So I don't have a lot of bodies out there. People sit there and say, I got two, my ex-husband and my son's father. So
a lot of guys also
Stop the cap.
A lot of guys also will put their own narrative together due to the fact that they don't want to come off as asking you too many questions. So for instance, if in reference to what Hamp was saying, if you got your Instagram is filled with trip photos, you don't see nobody else on the trip. Just you. It's always just you. Even if you are somebody that go on solo trips, that man is gonna be like, no, you didn't post no pictures with no girls, you with a nigga. You get what I'm saying?
Security, man.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what men create their own narrative, and they won't ask you no questions. Niggas will not ask. Females will ask you 100 fucking questions to figure out from A to Z. A man will not ask you no questions like that.
Yeah,
and I review in their head. Some men don't ask because they don't want to know that information because they've actually pictured you as this for the sake of an angelic person that they want. They don't want to know your bodies and what you had going on. They want to see you in a certain light. So as soon as they ask a question, it just spews everything.
That's what I'm saying. They want to create their own narrative in regards to who you are.
Yeah. So look at this. TPP, what if I told you we got to be very careful of characterizing, like Asia just yelled out, insecurity. These are $1 million men with the same thoughts. So they can get the women they want when they want them. These are the top, right? Because if you're over 6 feet, you're in the 14.5% of men in the US are over 6 feet. If you make 100 plus 112, that and you're 6 feet, that's only 3% of men.
So they dropped you under 5 right there.
Huh?
That drops you immediately under 5.
Yeah, 6 feet and then 100,000.
Yeah, and that's 6 figures immediately.
Yeah, exactly. That's 3%. I was just looking it up. 3.3%. Right? So I'm not dealing with that. Right? They don't have to deal with it. It's not even about insecurity. It's about the pick of the litter. So if the top men, why would we say that they're insecure? Maybe they just choose. Okay, not that one. This one. That's all it is.
So to that, Hamp.
Mm-hmm.
I said I get out insecurity because how are you going to assume? Because I go on a lot of solo trips. I do, and so I take a lot of. It's crazy, and I take just see pictures of me all on my Instagram for me doing solo trips. I'm so serious, and so for a man to assume I'm with somebody else without communication and actually talking to me, that's a red flag to me. So we ain't gonna make it. We're not gonna do well with that. Number 2, I wanted to address you about I'll just pick somebody else. So you're gonna buy somebody else. And will it work? Will it be sustained? Yeah, you might, you may be the pick of the litter because you over 6 foot make this money, but how are you spiritually, emotionally, and sexually? I mean, how do those things add up? So yeah, you can sit there and pick them for a minute, but will you be kept? Meaning the man, will he be kept? Because someone else can be, have more money than you. So men to be very careful about saying because they make, I can pick whoever I want to pick, and I can too.
So you don't assume with men?
Absolutely not. That's a dangerous thing to do, to assume. I hate assumptions.
So with me having an example, something minor that I joke about. When I was dating, if I went to your house and it was very well put together, decorations, shit hanging on the wall, vases with little, I'm like, I know a bitch helped you with this. You ain't do this shit by yourself. Again, that's me assuming. I'm gonna assume the same way he is. Like, I'm not gonna say.
Could it be his sister though, Mary, that helped him decorate?
But I'm saying it could be that. But what I'm saying is, I'm running with my assumption that another bitch helped you, whether it be your sister, your auntie, your mama, or the bitch down the street. A female helped you. You know what I'm saying?
Couldn't just have impeccable taste or be an interior designer?
Absolutely not.
No.
Oh wow.
I agree.
And my point has always been valid. It always has been some kind of female that has helped decorate a man's house. I don't know no man straight off the rip that has 100%. Decorations and all that.
Mary's 100% correct.
That's true. I had somebody tell me that. It's like, oh, I ain't do this shit my ex. I was at his crib. So yeah, this all my ex shit. Oh, so nigga, this ain't in yours. Like I'm dealing with.
Wow.
While I'm still single, because I'm dealing with this shit. But no, okay. So, but to y'all point, so I wouldn't necessarily say an insecurity, but I would say ego. Because I don't care how much money he make. I don't give a damn how tall he is. His ego, that ego hurt just the same. If you, one little word, or you don't look at him, or you don't respond to him a certain way, his feelings gonna be hurt. I don't care. They're still the same size. I don't care how big your pockets are.
Yeah. Ego matters a lot. When you let somebody into the point where when you are vulnerable and they can't hurt you, what they say matters. To men, our bravado won't let you see it, but that's a fact though. So now you know it, you just gotta do something with it.
But women got their egos too, huh?
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, we see it. There's a dog kennel right around the corner from my house. A lot of women lined up to get them dogs too. So unfortunately, it's not easy, but it's not equal. It's not fair, but your ego, it doesn't come across the same way, right? Like a woman with ego would have a negative connotation, you know.
Stuck up. If we got an ego, we're stuck up.
Yeah, like it'll have that spin on it, you know what I mean? So it's just not the same for us. But no, you're not wrong, Candy, for sure. Like my wife up there asleep, I'm holding the baby, that's ego.
No, she was up all day long taking care of all the kids.
Why? So she can sleep. You ain't right.
I gotta ask this question. Hold on. All right, I gotta ask this, bruh.
He want to be on camera.
You think so?
He probably want to eat.
He look crazy as hell. He can't be on camera.
Wipe his mouth.
Boy, look crazy. All right,
Wipe
so
his mouth, Pam.
he teasing me. So,
you know
what is the vetting process for a husband? Because a lot of us, unfortunately, we have relationships and marriages that have dissolved, right? There's so many reasons. But what about beforehand? How are we vetting these men? And not to get in everybody's business, but just generally, women dissolve the marriages first overall. So what's the vetting process for these husbands?
Wait, you gotta.
Right. I want to. Yeah, I was about to jump in. Go ahead, Candy.
Go ahead.
I literally just talked about this. You said women dissolve the marriages. Yes, that number is there, right? It's been statistically put out there a numerous amount of times. However, I don't think they address why the men don't. I don't think it's an accurate number in a sense where we'll get to your question, but I'm just saying you mentioned that, so I wanted to touch on that a little bit. Men, in my experience, Black men do not dissolve the marriages because they don't want that stigma attached to their name. They're not going to be the one that walked away from their wife, walked away from their children, because there's already this stigma out there about Black families. So they're willing to suffer in silence and stay until the woman is just like, all right, you're not communicating, you're not doing this, I'm done, let me end it. So I think that number is inaccurate on some, because it doesn't account for things like that.
And men think it's cheaper to keep her. So that has been around for a long time. It's cheaper to keep her. So a lot of men won't divorce because they have that in their mind.
Yeah, so definitely, I think it's a component of those two things. Yeah. Now you
And
can
then what role did they play to bring to the demise of the relationship? They're not going to admit to whatever roles they played to the demise of the relationship too. So that's another factor, because the stories that they tell don't ever include what they did. And that's what I noticed with mine. He liked to tell a story about what he think I was doing and da-da-da-da, but what did you do?
It's easier to play the victim.
Exactly. To bring me to that point.
It's easier to play the victim.
Don't dish out what you can't take. That was my famous line. Don't dish out what you can't take, because once I learned the rules of the game, I become a professional.
Let that get back to Tawana.
You know what I'm saying? I become a professional once I learned the rules. He used to say that all the time. Regina Bell had a song out that said, what goes around comes around. I used to play it all the time. He said, why you always playing that song? I said, well, you better listen to it. I'm telling you right now, you better hear it. You know, but that was to me, that payback woman, giving you back what you dished out. That whole thing, that don't help. Who wins? I felt good about it though at the time, but when I think back, you know, who really won? We're divorced. You know, the kids had to suffer through that. You know what I mean? So it's, you know, it plays, everything has a cause and effect though. So
as far as the vetting process, I would have to say, well, one thing in particular for me, have you done the soul work?
Absolutely.
At my age, we've, you know, you've been through some things, you've learned some things, and I personally work on yourself and your growth and your journey. And I need to know that you've done that soul work, because I'm not interested in trauma bonding with anybody. I'm not interested in and having to deal with your baggage that you bought from somewhere else. So that's really a part of my vetting process. Can I trust you with my mind, body, soul, and heart? And then you get to the other parts of that, but that's part of have you done your work? Because it's easier. It goes back to the communication with Ms. Tawana, where you can, that communication then becomes a little bit easier if you've done some work on yourself. I'm not saying you got to be perfect, but have you been doing your work? Because we all come from something and experiences.
Are you guys all vetting these men yourselves? Go ahead, Love.
That's what I was gonna. That was gonna answer the question actually on the bottom, because I need to have people vet with me without him knowing he's being vetted. I want him to be in his natural habitat and his natural response. And so me just doing it, we have blind spots as women. And so I would absolutely, this go round, take him around my people. And my people are honest with me. They don't sugarcoat with me. I don't have gasping around me. My people give it to me rough, rugged, and raw. And that's what I like to be around me. And so I need to be around his people as well. Because if I'm marrying into that family, oh God, I know my attitude and my faces, it shows up on my face. And if it ain't the right type, it's going to be uncomfortable family reunions and Thanksgivings and Christmases, because my face going to be like, this is some ghetto mess. I don't like it. Or she talked too much, or your mother's disrespectful. Like, I just know my attitude. I'm on that top 20%, y'all. I'm not perfect yet. But I just need to make sure that we truly do gel together. And so I need him around my people multiple times. We can fake it. People can fake it. I need to be around his people too.
Yeah, that representative. That's what you talking about.
Yeah, I don't want that representative. I wanted the real deal. And like I said, I think one other guy said it before, full season. Like, how do you get in the summertime? Do you like being a hot boy summer? I got a problem with that. In the wintertime, you get depressed because you get seasonal affective disorder. Like, I need to know about that. Like, I just need to know how you are throughout the year. How do you deal with situations when your money's funny? Do you go into a depressive state and you get mean and nasty? Do you go away? Do you disappear? Like, I need to know all of that. How do you handle disagreements, arguments? Do you shut down, or do you get explosive? You throw stuff. I need to know all of that. And I'm going to ask those pointed questions. I think one panel, the guys said I would scare men away by asking questions, but it's like, I don't care. I'd rather scare you away in the beginning than after the fact.
Well, my thing is with that perspective of it, and whatever. I've been married for a year. It is what it is. To me, it's more so you're constantly learning somebody. You can have all these things while you're vetting, and that person be exactly who they were when you were vetting, exactly what you wanted, and things change. Things change not only with us, but with men as well. So it's like, realistically, are you looking for like the baseline? Because I wouldn't want somebody that is the same person at year 1 at year 5. Yes,
your core values don't change, though. Your core values should not change.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Yes, the core values, but when it comes to some of the things that people are saying in regards to the vetting process, does that change? Say if somebody has a sour season, does that change how you look at them? Does that change the fact that this is somebody you wanted to marry?
No, people go through things.
And that's what I'm saying. So are we accepting these men for when they are in their seasons? Because like I said, you can say, okay, this man is everything right now. I'm ready to marry him. And then it's like you said, oh, I need to have all seasons. But then women also put a timeline in how long it takes for them to be proposed to before they leave somebody. You get what I'm saying? So you want to see somebody in their seasons, but you're giving them a year to marry you.
But you also want to see how he goes through those seasons. He might fall, but is he going to fight to get back up? Because if you fall and you lay there, we just can't be together because you too weak.
But what if he doesn't fall in that first year? It takes him up to year 5 to fall because something traumatic happened. Then what?
Life happens though. I don't think life's going to happen in your, I'm saying, like life, not saying he fall, but you can still see how he does and reacts to a bad situation. Mm-hmm. So it may not be that fall to where he lost his job, right? That may not happen until year 5, but year 1 or 6 months, whatever, you'll see something like he gets disappointed. How does he deal with disappointment? How long is your vetting process though? I'm not the one to there and say 3 months, 6 months, whatever. It's ongoing until I feel the thing is right, because I don't like being love bombed. I think love bombing is a red flag to me. So it's all about what feels right. I would never sit there and say it has to take a year, it has to take 6 months. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. It is what feels right. I'm very intuitive naturally anyway. So I'm not the type of chick to sit there and say, we're going to have sex only after 3 to 4 months. We might have sex after 30 days or even 7 days if it feels right. And we know we're going to do this. We can get married in 6 months. I don't know. It's all about literally, what have we gone through? What are we doing? What did we agree upon? All of that. You want me to explain, Love Bomb?
No.
No, that was just pretty much, what I was asking, because I've been engaged previously for 6 years. And then I woke up one day and got married, to somebody else. So, you know what I'm saying? Like it has.
That's a long time, Mary. So you didn't really want to?
No, the changes that I needed to see, I wasn't seeing the growth. I'm big on growth. So growth is my vetting process. If I don't see you grow, I can't do that. I cannot be with somebody. That's my deal breaker. That's my everything. You part of my vetting process, you gotta grow. I don't care if it's the left or the right. It could be towards me, away from me. I just need to see something.
So you said yes to the potential of who he was.
You said for the potential.
The potential of who he was, yes. You said yes and said it to the yes to the engagement, to the potential of who he was. Because you said you wanted to see him grow more. So that means he wasn't at the level that you wanted him to be really in the beginning or whatever.
Correct.
Okay.
TPP, and I apologize, I stepped away for a second. How important is is love? How important is love in a relationship, marriage, and how important is being happy?
Oh, that's everything. But I do think, as a self-love ambassador, I think that starts with you. And I don't think that you should look for any lover, man or woman, to give that to you, right? Like, you have to show up with your cup full. But yeah, that's a trick question, right? Because I'm not looking for a husband. But I will say one thing that I am looking for in a man, right? Before I get there, I'm looking for him to be open in his sexuality, in terms of like maybe having a threesome or allowing me to have girlfriends.
With girls or like everybody?
With girls.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm just keeping it real. Like, I'm a sexual health and wellness coach. But in my man, if we're gonna do life together, then yes, I'm looking for somebody who is open and flexible with those types of things. So that's part of my vetting process and looking for a man.
But so all the single fellas in the chat, we just want to clarify.
Oh God.
Not with boys, just with girls.
Don't do that. No, because that comes after. It's not, oh, she like girls. You know what I mean? Like, No,
but I'm saying, like, can he be bisexual?
Can he be bisexual? Like, can he like men too?
Yeah, that thing.
I mean, I won't judge him.
But would you marry?
Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
I don't know. I've never been in that situation, but I'm open to trying it. Listen, no. I don't know. I honestly can't say like I'm dead set against it, because I'm not. Because I have tons of gay friends.
I like that. Be open. You might miss your blessing out. The bisexual man could be your husband.
At this moment in my life, I'm open to whatever the universe has for me.
Y'all might share the same foundation.
If he like to be pegged, I'm gonna peg him. Like, but I'm gonna learn.
Wow. Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
Then I'm gonna learn, because that's the type of wife I'm gonna be, right? Like, that's Italian. I mean, you asked.
That's what's up. I like that. Be open. Be open. Broaden your horizons.
Let him be sexually liberated.
Fellas, I'm gonna tell you right now. She said
there was an article on that. A lot more men like that pegging than they like.
Yes, they do, Candy. A lot more men like the finger up the rectum and going around.
What? The vetting process is.
I think they like the licky, not the sticky. You know what I mean? A lot of them like that lately.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
It was
No,
specifically
let me
the
just
article was around that, and
let me just
them
speak,
being comfortable with that.
They like
ladies.
fingers up the anus. Trust me.
Ladies, I gotta take the floor for just 1 second. Fellas, listen to me close. If she says she supports you like getting pegged, don't fucking believe her. The moment it happens, you will be forever judged. Soon as you get in the argument, oh, but you ain't say shit last time when you was bent over the couch. See, no, bro, no,
Bruh.
no.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
What? That's a prime example of your ego, baby. Because men, you have no idea what type of orgasms they have up there. That's that's all. But
Listen, him get his ass ate.
But I'm you a man, so I'm gonna leave it there.
TPP, listen, I'm just advising my brothers because I know how that shit come back to haunt them.
Because I want y'all educated. No, for real. You need to liberate yourselves. But anyway, I digress.
Hey, fellas, listen, don't go bungee jumping. Don't let nobody peg you, period. Don't. Right, they can tell you she gonna have you on the internet doing what's that cosplay? You gonna be in a diaper, nigga, and she gonna have a camera in the background. Okay, that's why. Don't do it. I'm telling you. So shout out to Chef Eddie with the $2 super chat. Can you see it? There you go. He said, bisexual.
So,
wow.
Real quick about that. I want to add to the vetting process too. I
got one more question.
Real quick, I think a lot of women do themselves a disservice in the vetting process because they kind of just relegate it to just one man. I'm big on open dating more than one man at a time, right? Because how else will you know? I think that a nice, healthy competition, them understanding these are my wants and desires, and we have the pick. We can choose, and let them show us that they're the. Yeah, I'm laughing at him. Let them show us. And so that should be part of the vetting process as well. Do not just relegate yourself to one man. We are dating. We are not married yet. Let me know you're the best option. You're the best one for me. Let me know that. Prove yourself to me. In the animal kingdom, lions fight in front of the women lions to show that they are the alpha, that they are the best pick of the tribe. Women, I implore you. Keep them coming in your pocket. What you say? Mary, what you say? Mary, what you say? Be a hoe.
He also has 10 different. He has 10 different women in that pack too. He be plugging, and he don't do no hunting. So he just be chilling, getting fat. He be bullying, and he fuck all the chicks.
But he also fights to show that he should be a part of my life.
I mean, he protects. When he come, they know what time it is. But male lions are rather lazy.
That's the line. I'm gonna say tigers. I'm sorry.
No, tigers are actually solitary.
Which are the ones that whichever animal fights for the woman. That's what we need to be like.
About the birds, then.
So you guys, I think lions is a good example. Do you guys? What if I told you you definitely need a man to vet a man? You agree?
Agree.
Yeah, that's why dads are super important.
Now if it wasn't for men.
Say again.
I wouldn't know what I know now if it wasn't for men. I learned the game from cousins, brothers, friends, all that.
Yeah, and obviously you want to pick your dad. It don't have to be like Bad Boys 2, right? But like at the door with Reggie. Yeah. But that's helpful. On that point with Asia about dating around and all that.
Who's Asia?
Oh, love, my fault. Damn, she be fronting. Bro, let's say you hiring somebody, right? They had a resume. In the past 10 years, they had 30 jobs. What do you say? How do you feel? You got one resume, 30 jobs the last 10 years. You got one resume, 2 jobs the last 10 years. What do you say about those two people?
You want my real life, because I am an HR person, answer, or you want per dating?
You done made it all complicated now, so just answer shit.
Give me the question again. So if they had 30 jobs in 10 years.
Bruh. Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Okay, so they had 30 jobs in 10 years, and there was another.
Get her out of here.
That is not right.
I can't take it, man.
What was the other? It was the other person had what? 2 jobs.
She was sitting. While you was sitting back with your arms folded. Yo. Listen, bro, you already messed up my analogy. It's lost.
It's not lost. Okay, 30 jobs. What is it? 30
jobs in 10 years, or someone that had 2 jobs in 10 years? Who you picking?
I'm picking the person with the 2 jobs in 10 years.
Yeah, you took all the steam out of it, bro. I don't even so basically just be careful, right? Because if your resume too long, niggas ain't having that. And here's the thing you got to understand. If you live in a city like DC, which is not that large, you see people often and all the time. So let's say you see this girl on several dates with several niggas. What do men do, Mary? When they don't see nobody in those photos when you're traveling, what do we do? The A word. So, all right. So I'm just telling you. So when you go and tell him you didn't sleep with one of them niggas, you know what he gonna think in his head?
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
All right. So I'm just letting you know now. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
That's why you only put the most important jobs on your resume and not all 30. You only put the ones that you learned the most from.
Yeah,
so your top 3.
As long as you go on the dates where nobody can see you, you're right. I respect it. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Hit that like button as soon as you come in. The stream that helps the channel the most. I should have said that an hour and a half ago. But I appreciate y'all. Shout out to all the super chats. Did I read them all? I think I missed one, right, Asia?
No, you got them all. You got
them all. I don't know if I said it out loud though. So just one time to try to Taz. He said, "Got to put something in the collection plate for the great convo." So we appreciate you, brother.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit
all right,
like
last
that.
question
Shit
of
like
the evening, man. Y'all been doing a fantastic job. I usually don't say that.
No, he doesn't.
It's because we're all women.
There you go, Mary.
That part, Mary. Boom.
Bruh.
But how about I just peep, like all of us got these perfect teeth. Was that on purpose? Like our smile and our teeth is like, I'm looking like, yo, our dentist ain't making nothing.
No, that's the I pay for the 1080 screen.
That's living good. That's living right.
Because I guarantee there's somebody up here without some back teeth.
You. Oh, Isha, I'm sorry, Isha.
Yeah, I think I got missing a couple. All right. My last question. Where is it? What are the valid reasons for divorce? What are the valid Mary, can I finish you and Ro? Like, what the
what Mary drinking? What Mary drinking?
Let me finish. Now I can finish the question and then we can get the answer. What are valid reasons for divorce? Now, I want to start with TPP because hers is more so. Would you say? Maybe like more objective. Maybe. Go ahead. Everybody get back up here talking shit.
That was how she came in. She was like, like what?
All right, go ahead.
All right. So, can I just say that I don't really agree with divorce? Can I start there? Because if I'm gonna do it, especially now, right? Ain't but one way out.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
That's where I am today, at 37 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Single with no kids. Okay, that's just where I'm feeling. I can't. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna let y'all, because y'all got experience and things.
Okay, I respect it. Mary, valid reasons for divorce.
Anything you want it to be. I am big on peace. Now, my number one thing in regards to divorce is just finding out who somebody is. So a mistake of the first time, a choice the second, the third time is character. So whatever it is that you did, if I don't like it and you don't stop, it's grounds for divorce.
Okay. Damn.
Ouch.
Nice.
Ouch.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Tawana.
Yes, Hampton.
Valid reasons for divorce.
Lack of communication and not wanting to bend, because some people just that this is me and this is how I roll, this my shit. You know, I'm gonna need you to really get it together. You know, for me, it's relational intelligence, and people lose. They lose the sense of relationship and what it pertains to when you really want it to be right. You can't be hard. You can't be so hard. You really can't. You got to be able to communicate. And that once you lose communication, it's a wrap for me. I'm done.
Okay. That's pretty cut and dry. Ro?
Lack of self-awareness. I'm like Mary, I'm cut and dry. If I tell you you're doing something, and you don't even act like you want to respond, we're done.
Damn. Love?
Can I say one thing here, just real quick?
You go ahead.
And the reason why I just want to elaborate a little bit more on my communication is because I made a comment to my husband. I can recall a conversation I said to him. This is many years ago, but I did say, I said, babe, I think we need to talk. You know what he said? Talk then.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
I was like, we're not going to get anywhere with you saying talk then. So that's why I bring communication to the forefront all the time. I always say communication. Once you lose that, it's, what are you doing? And I'm reading a book called Relational Intelligence, and I recommend this to everybody. I recommend this to the top of the line. I promise you, off the chain.
Word. Okay. Go ahead, Love. Valid reasons for divorce.
Abuse in every facet of it, not just physical. It could be emotional abuse, it could be mental abuse. To me, those are valid reasons. And there's no way around that. Like because at first I was gonna say nothing. Like I don't know what a reason is. I didn't divorce my husband; he divorced me. But I'm glad he did. I needed it to end. And again, that's something I learned something about myself about that. And that was toxic of me to do that. But abuse in every facet there's no way around it. Divorce for that only. And the reason why, I kind of say something real quick, I kind of got triggered by Mary and Rotunda. And I got triggered because my ex-husband said this to me: you didn't change, so I divorced you. And it's like, I mean, how and what did you want me to change? Like, just because you say don't do it, or I'm telling you to change, and because you didn't, I weaponized the word divorce, and since you wouldn't change, still, I actually went through with it, even though I didn't want to. And it's like, that's control to me. I felt controlled, and I felt that was manipulation. And that just, the blanket statement of, if I tell you don't do it and you keep on doing it, then I'm going to divorce you. That is just so broad. And it sounds a little bit scary to where there's no balance, or there's no stability in that relationship. So that was just like, dang, y'all. It's your reason. It's your reason. I'm just saying, like, that is.
I want to answer that. I just want to say this. I'm not saying Well, the thing is, we got to go back to the previous question of how are you vetting the person, right? So if I see red flags and I still get married, that's one thing. If I see red flags after the marriage and I have addressed something that you're doing to affect me, and you do like Tawanda, mine used to say, what did he say? He used to say things like, you're using big words. Just because, you want to have a conversation, you're expressing yourself, you're telling him, and he's just like, you're using big words. Or I'm never going to change. I'm always going to be this way. And if I'm telling you that you are verbally doing something to me, or you are emotionally affecting me in a certain way, and you say, I ain't never going to change, that's grounds for divorce. Because you weren't self-aware, meaning I told you something that you're doing to me and you decided and made a decision that you're just not going to change. You're not going to take in what I'm saying to you. I'm not saying you can't change, meaning you used to go out, you used to travel all the time by yourself, and then we get married and I'm like, you can't. That's different. I'm talking I told you did something to me and you just sat and told me your own words, you're not going to change. That is abuse.
Right. And that's what I was leaning toward.
So the answer is abuse then. Okay. So it's not because they didn't change, it's the abuse.
No, not even that. It's the fact that, like, exactly what you did with your statement, you only thought about what you thought about it. From your statement that you just made, you didn't think about why he feels that way. You get what I'm saying? So it's not in regards to, oh, you didn't change. I'm letting you know that this hurts me. I don't like this, but you still made the choice to continue to do these things after already giving chances. You get what I'm saying? It's not like a one and done type of situation. I gave you these chances. I was repetitive about it. I've talked to you about it, but you didn't change what hurts me.
But it was the core of who I was. So we should never. So that's what I'm saying. Like I just want us to be very clear on what it is, because if you're saying change the core of who I am, that's not going to happen.
But it's when you're married, sometimes the core of you has to change, because you have to think about somebody else and take somebody else into consideration. Yes, you're telling me that you get married and you don't think about somebody else.
That's not the core of who I am, to be selfish and not sensitive to somebody else. That's not
the core. What we're
saying,
we're talking about that being somebody's thing. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about selfishness and things like that being somebody's thing. We're not talking about what we're talking about.
That's the core of who. But that's the core of who that person is. You knew that in the beginning, so you knew you were marrying a selfish person to their core.
Sometimes you don't know that. Sometimes you don't know that. What we talk about representatives. We talk about no. We talk about representatives all the time. We talk about representatives all the time. You got a divorce, so you know that whoever you started with is not who you finished with. It happens. It happened. You cannot blame it on day one for everybody. Yes, sometimes people ignore the red flags. They don't look at all these things. But sometimes that's not who somebody is until they experience the different things in life, different traumas in life that may happen during marriage. You get what I'm saying? So no. If I'm saying I don't like something that you're doing, it bothers me, it hurts my feelings, and I'm giving you the option to change it because of how I feel. It's not me having control because I want you to not talk to me that kind of way. Maybe I feel like you're a little aggressive when you speak to me. Can you not speak to me in that manner? That's not me wanting control over you, because that's how you talk to people in the streets. I'm your wife. Speak to me differently.
Of course, I'm not talking about abuse and being disrespectful. We cannot assume that, right? And we cannot sit there and throw that in there. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about
that's our truth. That's our truth. How are you going to debate what me and Ro are talking about? That's what we're talking about.
No, I said we don't. No. I'm not debating that. What I'm saying is, of course, that's a no-brainer. Disrespect is a no-brainer. Of course not. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the core of who that person is. That's what I'm referring to, because you said the core of a person is not going to change.
Because what I say is the first time it's a mistake. The second time it's a choice. The third time it's character. So sometimes we don't even know that's somebody's fucking character. That's what I'm saying. It's not us needing some kind of control. No, it's letting you know that I don't like something. You're not changing something that is hurting me internally, and you're not even addressing it. So yes, that is grounds for divorce. That's not control. That's not control. It's something that I didn't see before, because why? You changed in these years that we've been married, especially when you're marrying somebody that's never been married before.
Asia, I get what you're saying about the core of a person, meaning you're a go-getter. Like I said, operating at a high capacity level. That's my core. I get that part. What I'm saying is, and I think Mary is saying is, that core person does not always show up immediately. And it can sometimes be kind of like, like shock for somebody, because they can like those characteristics about us. They can say, I like the fact that she's a go-getter and she likes to operate at a high capacity level. And then when we get in a relationship, I'm like, all right, we need to get the bills together. We need to travel twice a year. I need to travel with the kids once a year. And they'll be looking at me like, what you talking about? But that's my high capacity level, because that's my core.
No, I totally get that. That's the core of who you are, and that's why I said the importance of the vetting process. I said that too.
Yeah,
and
I agree. So I'll say that was my marital lesson, right? Was vetting and not understanding, even knowing myself, because I married young. I didn't know myself. I didn't know exactly what it was, even to the point of sex. I didn't know every morning after I had sex with my husband, I was angry. He would be like, why are you so angry? I didn't know, because I wasn't fulfilled. And I wasn't fulfilled because I was inexperienced. I had no idea what was going on. And I didn't find that out until later on after divorce, and realizing you don't know certain things about yourself. And so for him, he might tell y'all the same thing. He might be like, well, she was bossy, or she wanted to be in control, and she wanted to. And for me, it was like me operating a high capacity level. All I'm saying is, once somebody brings it to your attention that you're doing that to them, you have to take a step back and say, am I doing this? And not just say, okay, I could say, yeah, I'm doing this, and understand now, okay, Ro operates at a high capacity level, whatever she do. So I just think that you have to know, you have to know yourself, for one, and you have to understand that when somebody comes to you and say, I'm really not understanding why you always got to travel by yourself. Why do you always have to do this? And you're just like, well, it's me operating in my high capacity self, and I like to travel, and this is what I like to do.
I'm not saying don't compromise. I think this is getting lost. I'm not saying don't compromise.
Yeah, let's wrap this convo.
I know we got to wrap it up, and you shouldn't can't even go. I don't want to keep on belaboring this, but I'm not talking about don't compromise. But go.
Yeah, that was a lot. I think when I clip it, I will get more out of it. Isha, what are valid reasons for divorce?
I'm going to agree with Love. Abuse is definitely my top one, but another one is having outside kids.
So not outside sex, outside kids?
Because kids is just proof. Like, I can get over the betrayal, but if I got to look at your betrayal every day,
that's a deal breaker. Definitely.
Yeah, like, I'm not taking care of her kids. You can go stay with her too. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Stay with her.
Hey, Ish, do you mean before you meet him, he shouldn't have children, or during?
During the marriage.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I love the kids, but if you have a baby on me, you got to go.
Word. Candy?
I'm also with Love. Any type of abuse, mentally, physically, emotional. Also, if I ever find that I'm a betrayal to myself, I gotta go.
The abuse thing is so you guys are talking about mental, physical, verbal, all that, right?
Absolutely. That's why I said I named all three. That's a no-go.
Gotcha. I wonder about that verbal stuff, because men don't leave, but I feel like women can be quite triggering. Am I wrong?
was gonna ask that. Like in a mutually, you still leave in a mutually verbal type of battle, like, because I know women that do some things that I would and say some things I'd be like, Jesus Christ.
Well, I can only speak for myself. I'm not verbally abusive. Like that's just a space that I don't move in.
Yeah.
What do you think it looks like though, Candy? You think it looks like nigga you a bitch, or does it look like condescending tone and
Absolutely. That
turning your back, cutting them off, walking off, so on and so on. See, I think we don't. So what'll happen is a man will respond strongly, maybe yell or fuss, right? And then he's the villain. But I always wonder, how did that nigga get to that point?
that goes back to why I say it's a root of everything, right? With what you said, like, how did it get to that point? Does he feel ignored? When he's trying to be heard in a situation, it could cause that. Like the yelling could infuse in that, or the verbal abuse. Like when I'm talking about verbal abuse, don't be calling me out of my name. Like first, we can start with that. There's a level of respect because I know men move in a space of respect above love. So I'm going to give you the utmost respect with regards to, because it takes like a second to say something to a man. It's forever in their head and you got to take years to get that shit out. So I'm what people say, I'll Obama you. I'll be real specific with my tone, how I come across. I just can't operate in yelling anyway, because my ears just turn off in that, if that's where we're going. Because that just means we're going to be talking at each other. And I want to have a conversation. So we got to start even in the tone, So if I'm feeling like your inflection change, like, hey, is this a good time? Because I'm not going to hear you, you're not going to hear me, and nothing is going to get resolved. Because at the end of the day, it's not who's right, it's what's right? If we're a team,
should be.
That's what it should be. Yes. If we're a team, it's not who's right in this aspect. Because I want to hear your point of view and your perspective, and I want to be given that same respect and space to be able to do that. So I'm just not raising my voice. That is just too much for me. So definitely.
Word. I have this might be kind of like gaslighting, but I only want a 1-word answer, and we'll explore this maybe on the next one. All right. Love, you looking for a husband or a partner?
Partner.
Okay. Isha, are you looking for a husband or a partner?
Big husband. Big husband.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit
Candy,
like
how
that.
about you? And obviously you may not be looking right now, but y'all catch my drift. Candy, how about you?
Oh, straight up partner. This husband shit is expensive for me.
Okay. My hand keeps slipping. Mary. Oh, well, are you a wife or a partner?
Listen, I am a wife.
Okay.
What I say, independent.
1 word.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
You'll
Shit like
going.
that. Shit like that.
8 minutes later, y'all still talking about what the fuck the Asia said. TPP, you want to be a wife or a partner?
Partner.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes.
Tawana?
Wife.
Why are you rocking back?
Because I'm tired. That's why I got that 56-year-old rock. Shit, I ain't lying. This will come with that.
It's only 10 o'clock where you at.
I don't give a damn. It's late to me.
Bro?
I'm looking for a husband. I think I deserve a second chance.
Okay. All right, man. Hey, man. I did a marvelous job, man. I appreciate y'all. A lot to be learned, a lot to be gained, a lot of shit to scrutinize and judge. So when I go through editing, I will be judging what y'all saying. I just want to let you know that now. But y'all did a good job. So listen, we got to end with final thoughts. Tawana, you up first.
Love yourself. You got to love yourself first, because if you don't, you can't love nobody else. And that's real.
Bro?
In the infamous words as Auntie Ayanya, you cannot force somebody to love you, you have to learn how they learn. You have to learn how they love.
Or the pleasure plug.
I'll say don't worry so much about the roles. Just focus on becoming a better you and evolving.
Mary?
Like I say every time, do whatever the fuck make you happy.
Bruh.
Candy?
Hey, love Mary. I think my final word is don't ask for something you can't give.
I like that. Ish?
In the right environment with the right support, you can have it all. You can have whatever you want.
Love?
So much. Know yourself, love yourself, and be the best version of you in self-actualization.
A lot of interesting thoughts and perspectives. I think I slightly disagree with a lot of the self stuff. I just don't know how that yields in a relationship and family and kids and a wife, and if you with TPP, your husband and your other wife or whatever the case is. So, I think you definitely want to be absolutely the best you can be. But once you come together with another person, I think your focus has to shift a little bit. And I think the key there is to be okay with that and be with that person based on purpose, not so much on how you feel, because feelings can be kind of fluid. So like, share, subscribe. Dang, y'all did a good job. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and we out.
Have a blessed night, everyone.